Hey guys, it's Jed Johnson coming back at you, answering some more of your questions related to strength and conditioning. And this one came in from a friend of mine named Josh Dale, and he wants to know if there is any safe way to perform upright rows. So, to give you an idea, here's how upright rows are normally performed. It involves taking a barbell and you're going to grip it, something like this. And then you're going to perform the pull in this manner. You're going to pull it up to about your chin, high chest, chin area, and then lower it down. This is used as a shoulder building exercise. Now, there's two main issues. First off, I just want to say that at Diesel Crew we don't do any upright rows. And there's two main reasons. First off is the shoulder movement that's going on. When I do this, I'm pulling my upper arm up and I'm keeping everything very close to my body. What's going on here is essentially this motion, if you look at it from the side. Now, it's tough to, obviously you can't see this, but if you were to be able to look underneath your skin and your musculature, your rotator cuff is attaching to your upper arm. And what you're doing here is you're taking the natural space that exists within the shoulder joint itself, and you're taking all that space away. You're causing friction to take place at the shoulder. So what happens is that friction causes inflammation on the rotator cuff, and then it can lead to other problems, including very severe pain. So that's the number one thing that you have to understand about upright rows. The other thing is the wrist angle. So let's look at this one more time, and I want you to watch my wrist. Take a little bit closer grip here. All right, as I pull up, you'll see that the wrist, the hand, pretty much stays in the same position the whole way. So as I lift up, the hand is like this. What you're doing is you're forcing your hand into what's called ulnar deviation. Ulnar deviation is when you move your hand like this. The opposite movement pattern is radial deviation. Therapists hate this position. In fact, when I worked in my manufacturing job, I did a lot of ergonomic studies on workstations, and we actually would seek to eliminate this kind of motion in the jobs that were taking place at the facility. So it makes no sense to really put yourself into that position like this for the upright row. So the two main issues are the shoulder and the wrist. Now, if you insist upon doing upright rows, I can fix that wrist for you. I'm going to show you a couple of alternatives that you might want to try. But again, I do not do these at all because of the issue with the shoulder and the rotator cuff. So I'll get this bar out of here. If you insist upon doing the upright row movement, there's a few ways to reduce the stress on the wrist. First, you can use an easy curl bar. And instead of going into such a degree of ulnar deviation, the angled handle of the bar allows you to stay away from that. Okay, so that's one option with the easy curl bar. Another example would be to use a farmer's walk implement. So I'm here. Now I'm perfectly neutral here. There's no deviation at all. Okay, so I'm just going to pull apart on the handle and lift up. But I'm still creating that risk for the shoulder joint. Okay, so it's still not 100% safe. And then finally, if you just use dumbbells, you can keep your wrist out of that ulnar deviation. Just like that. You're not going to get the same amount of weight with dumbbells that you would with the bar. Again, my suggestion is if you want to build your shoulders, stay away from the upright row. I don't use it myself. None of us at Diesel Crew use it as far as I know. And we don't use it with our athletes. you can perform high pulls. What this is much more of a dynamic movement, and you're going to take a grip that you would use for the clean and jerk, and what you're going to do is this. You're going to pull the bar up towards nipple height. You're going to stay away from that ulnar deviation, and you're going to work your shoulders and your traps, but you're not going to put that increased stress on the rotator cuff. Another example would just be sticking with presses. And on presses, what you want to do is, again, stay away from this extreme angle with the shoulder, and stick with keeping your shoulders, your upper arms in the scapular plane. So what you're going to do, instead of extreme opened up like this, you're going to bring your arms in just a few degrees, maybe 45 degrees, 30 to 45 degrees. That's a much safer plane of motion for the scapula, for the shoulder. Or if that causes you problems, you may just want to go completely narrow. Completely neutral. I do the vast majority of my pressing with a log, strongman log. So I'm in a hammer grip, a neutral grip. It's an abbreviated motion, so I'm not starting here with the log. I'm starting right about here because I have a big log. It's a 12-inch log. So I'm starting here and I'm pressing overhead, and I never have any shoulder issues from a log. So doing presses, you're probably going to be able to handle more weight. It's going to be somewhat safer for your shoulder, quite a bit safer for your shoulder. You're not going to have all that pressure going on the rotator cuff, and you probably build more muscle that way anyway, because this is more of an isolation movement, and you're not moving as much weight. So those are my suggestions if you're considering doing the upright row. Do whatever you want to, but I can tell you that for probably 95% of the population, they're going to cause problems to the rotator cuff and shoulder if you continue to do them for an extended period of time. Throwing them in here and there may not cause a problem, but again, I don't suggest them. Alright? So that's the way I see it, that's the way I feel. If anyone has a difference of opinion, feel free to leave a comment below and we can discuss it. Otherwise, all the best in your training, and keep sending in your questions. Thanks. Take care.